be exact. And there were only 2 times in my life that we actually shut down schools. Once was when I was in 4th grade. We had 4 feet of snow overnight. 4 feet of snow is formidable, even in Wyoming, especially when the wind is blowing, which it does all the time. The other time we shut down was when it was 60 degrees below zero for a week and all the diesel gelled up and nobody could go anywhere. But in Washington, when you're dealing with a metropolitan area of well over 1 million people, and some of them are driving from 75 miles away to get to work, and you got a lot more roads to clear, and Metro doesn't run real well, we have a problem getting around it. I was actually flying back to Washington for a couple of days before we were supposed to come here, and they started pre-canceling flights. So, you know, it just, the whole system was not really working particularly well. It was not, however, without cost, and not just cost of me not being able to get here, but the American Highway Users Alliance just did a study that quantified the cost of the just one day of that shutdown in 16 different states. So in Virginia, they figured it was about a $200 million loss to the economy, and that's after netting out the effects on businesses where people would come back. You know, you didn't go to Walmart that day to get what you needed to get, but you could do it the next day. They counted the cost of dollars lost to hourly workers who weren't going to get paid for that day. They counted the cost lost to restaurants that weren't going to have customers coming back and having that extra meal. And it was a really great example of how just interlinked transportation is to the entire economy, and how disruptions in transportation can cost our economy in a very specific dollars and cents kind of way. And that's what we're trying to focus on at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. So I'm going to try and talk for about 15 minutes, and somebody give me the hook, because of course I don't have a watch on, because I have a BlackBerry. Who needs a watch anymore, right? My BlackBerry's in my bag, and I'm not going to hold that out here. I'm going to talk for about 15 minutes about what we're doing about transportation at the U.S. Chamber and our view on it, and then we're going to have a discussion, because clearly, as Tim said, you've got a whole lot going on. You've got a whole lot planned here in and around Longview for transportation, but the question is, what is going to be the role of the federal government? And are you going to be able to get the resources you need to do those projects in 2015? Because I thought that was fascinating. You talked about a project for an application for Category $3 for TxDOT. It was going to start in 2015, and I'm sitting over here thinking, I don't know if you're going to have any money in 2015 to do it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And you all know what I'm talking about, especially folks from TxDOT and from the MPO. So 3 things I want to cover today. 1, what's the climate in Washington for getting a reauthorization bill done for highways and transit? Because, of course, that's just the big item on the table when it comes to transportation. The second is work that the U.S. Chamber is trying to do to really put a fine point on what the role is of infrastructure in the economy and how business relies on infrastructure. It's a big project. It's something I think you can really help us on and help us do. The third piece of that is from my outlook going forward on other kinds of infrastructure related work. So let's just start with the thing that everybody